Joining us on the phone is international man of cricket, Fazeer Mohammed. Good afternoon, Fazeer. Welcome to the SportsMax Zone, sir.
Good to be on the show. And let me first of all apologize for interrupting the in-studio drama.
Fazeer, Fazeer, I'm not going to waste your time because it would be a gross waste of time. I know I have the tremendous amount of respect for you. I won't ask you to analyze the Windies' win over Afghanistan by 23 runs today, which saw the Windies finish second to last in the World Cup. I'll do a proper review and ask you this question. Now that we have a chance to look back at the Windies' body of work in England and Wales for the past few weeks, is second to last about par for a team of this ability and this togetherness at this stage of their development?
Yes, it is, because it's one thing to have the ability. It's one thing to be playing outstanding cricket for bits and pieces. I don't know how Floyd Reefer came up with dominating matches by 85 to 90% and still finishing up on the losing end. But he is the interim coach and he could probably best explain it. But the fact of the matter is we went to qualifiers ranked 9. We went into this World Cup ranked 8 and we finished 9. So basically our ranking reflects our positioning, and that's exactly where we belong right now based on our consistent performances.
Yeah, in terms of some individuals, I looked at the numbers that Ricardo presented in the wrap just now, and Shea Hope, I think he certainly was about 100 and, I did some calculations, I think he was 140 runs short of what I thought he would have contributed over the tournament. Pooran has been a revelation, and some big names in terms of the batting, Gayle, Evan Lewis, to a lesser extent Shimon Hetmyer, he's only just emerging. They were short of what would have been expected from them. So in terms of the individual contributions, who do you think leaves this World Cup in credit and who you'd write on the report card must do better?
Well, everybody else basically, except Nicholas Pooran, as you said quite correctly, because he was the one whose numbers were way beyond what most people expected. And as I said, and I'll put my hand up and say immediately, I didn't have him selected in my World Cup 15, and certainly that was seen to be a really good decision by the interim panel headed by Robert Haynes, but virtually everyone else. So, I mean, we can't dance around the issue. If we want to talk about so much talent and so much ability and all of that, which we keep doing for the last 25 years or so, when are we going to convert all of that talent and potential into actual performance? And this was the opportunity, because if you've got 9 matches, if you really are a quality performer, you will be able to deliver at a consistent level, and we just didn't see that level of consistency.
Faz, Floyd Reefer, in the interview that we just played with him, and you dissected it just now in part when you spoke about you couldn't understand what he was talking about, dominant performances and so on, but he also mentioned taking a lot of positives from the World Cup. That was startling, wasn't it?
Well, nothing is startling when it comes to the West Indies officials saying anything after a disappointment. We've been saying that, as I said, Lance, for 25 years. We're always taking positives. The number of positives we take, we have to be the most positive team in the history of any known sport. And at the end of the day, it rings hollow. It's been ringing hollow for a long time, and we allow them to get away with it because I think maybe we're too kind that we don't say, okay, tell me what are the specific positives in relation to what, how do you measure these as positives? Because, again, it rings very hollow when you have, whether it's a captain, whether it's a coach, whoever it might be, saying that we take positives out of an experience of finishing second to last in a World Cup.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on, and I was taken to task because I suggested that Pooran is the only person that I would say the West Indies could take positives from. I would backtrack a little on that because of Sheldon Cotterell's fielding. And even after the game today, the statistics showed how outstanding a fielder he was. But from a bowling standpoint, he took 12 wickets in 9 matches. He was 6th on the economy rate for the West Indies. You had Roach, Gayle, Russell, Allen, and Holder all having better economy rates than he did. So as a bowler, I thought he was just ordinary. But to be fair, his fielding was good. So I would say Cotterell's fielding and Pooran's batting are the only positives for me that I would take from this West Indies World Cup experience.
Well, that is what we're calling a desperation, and to the extent that we are now identifying feeling, and it is a measure of desperation that we have our interim coach watching television to see how much runs, how many people would have saved, and all of these statistics, which are useful, yes, but at the end of the day, it's about where you finish in the standings. And again, this was a tournament where everyone played everyone. Yes, the West Indies match against South Africa was rained off. That was a potential 3 points, but we don't know how that could have turned out. But the fact of the matter is, whether we had a few chances here, a few chances there, Afghanistan could argue that if they hadn't thrown it away in that Chris Gayle over, they could have upset us again today. So we can always argue these things. At the end of the day, if everyone plays everyone and you finish second to last, there really isn't too much to say.
Absolutely. So, notwithstanding the criticism that this format attracted at the start, and you said it yourself about the reason, the India reason why the tournament had to be this format, but I always suspected that, you know, the bad teams would have been found out and the good teams would have risen to the top. Just before you go, Fazeer, there's a discussion that has been raging this side. I'm sure you're aware because you're a man who keep yourself informed about the expression by Gayle concerning the extension of his career. Curtly Ambrose has said, look, Gayle should shake some hands and move on right now. Mikey Holding has said, well, you know, pretty much the same thing. What do you think? So close to Brian Lara's record? Is it mere optics to give him a chance to break that record? And would it be bad form by the Cricket West Indies administrators to give him the test match that he seems dead set on before he hangs up his cricketing gear for good?
First of all, the way Chris Gayle said it, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, he said that he's going to play in the one-dayers definitely, and he's hoping to play a test match. To echo what Michael Holding said, I don't know that Chris Gayle has been appointed as chairman of selectors that he could make a statement like that. Secondly, if you're going to go to the extent of giving someone an extended run to break a record, and then give someone a test match who hadn't played a test match for 5 years, you have officially made a mockery of Test cricket, and anyone who is in agreement with that at an official level and can somehow justify the decision either way to basically say that an individual is more important than West Indies cricket moving forward from an abysmal World Cup campaign, they should all resign.
There you go. And a last one before you go, a big match comes up on Friday. Pakistan, Bangladesh. I think the Bangladeshis, whatever happens in that game, can count themselves. Well, if they win, it will be a moot point. But I think they've played so well, and that's a team that I think has played good cricket, but has not had the little oomph to take them over the line in a couple of the encounters. But that's a massive game coming up. How do you see that one panning out?
That's an important one. I wouldn't be surprised if Bangladesh pull off the upset, because I don't think Pakistan have any realistic chance of getting into the semi-finals. They've got to win by 318 runs. And in fact, if it is that Pakistan bat first, but Bangladesh bat first, the chances of Pakistan evaporated. But I think Bangladesh have come out with credit. And but for the rain and the abandonments and so on, New Zealand might have been struggling to hold on to their place, but that should be a really exciting duel tomorrow. And
on the New Zealand point, I was discussing with my producer that I think, and also with Lance on this show, that I think that New Zealand's habitual soft centre puts them at a disadvantage when you evaluate the merit and strengths of the four teams in the semi-finals. Do you agree?
Absolutely, and indeed the fact that Kane Williamson is responsible for almost a third of New Zealand's runs in this World Cup. That really tells you he is a world-class batsman. But if you can't get everyone else around him to make those important contributions, I think New Zealand, as much as I respect the fact that they've always overachieved at these major tournaments and have done so again, this time around they did so because they didn't have to play India. That match was rained off. And indeed, I think they're very, very fortunate to be in the semi-final.
There you go. Always a pleasure talking to you, Fazeer, and we look forward to doing so again.
Take care.
Good. Fazeer Mohammed over there doing some good work in England on commentary at the ICC Cricket World Cup. So, yeah, we leave this segment, and I'm very happy for my colleagues because they've won a trophy that they're sharing.
You should be happy for the West Indies.
Yeah.
I should be happy for what?
That the West Indies beat Afghanistan.
Why should I be happy for that?
Because it would have been worse if they had lost to Afghanistan.
It would have been worse for whom?
The West Indies people and the team.
Okay.
At least they won another game.
And
They could have
on 5
lost.
points, yeah.
Lance.
They could have lost.
Well, I'm happy that they honored the fixture, is all I'll say, because that would have caused some other problems. The West Indies beating Afghanistan should not be recorded in history.
But Afghanistan have beaten West Indies 3 times the last 4 times they played before today.
Lance, if
And Afghanistan entered the match today with a winless record. So
True.
a team with a winless record
If they had
beating the West Indies would just be beating the West Indies over the head
Icing on
in a
cake.
tournament that they've already been embarrassed.
Lance, if in front of a panel of 3 or 5 judges,
Yes.
you emerge as a better commentator of a track and field 100-meter sprint
Yes.
than a 7-year-old boy who has a stutter, I wouldn't record that as a victory for Lance Whitaker. That's the equivalent of what happened today.
Yeah, but there were people who predicted that Afghanistan would have won.
Because people gamble on everything. You're a racing man. In your life, have you ever looked at the tote board and seen a horse
don't gamble.
with 0?
I don't gamble.
No, I didn't say you gamble. Have you ever looked at the totalizator board and seen a horse with 0 in the win column and 0 in the place pool? Never. If it's even a dollar, Lance, it's there. So people bet on everything.
George, I'm just saying that the West Indies were about to leave the World Cup today with a 1% rating of happiness. And beating Afghanistan gave them 3%.
And I feel like every
They
cricket
would have
match-
fallen below 0 if they had lost to Afghanistan.
And Lance, every cricket match they play, we have that sort of enthusiasm. No matter, we just want them. I'm speaking for Lance and I,
No,
trophy.
but that's why I'm correcting you. I'm asking you to speak for yourself because not him. Not him. You see, he's laughing. Not him. Lance, I'm saying
No, but
to
I
you.
don't have faith in West
You know
Indies,
what?
George.
Every time
George.
West Indies plays a match, I will hope that they win.
There you go. I like that. Say that. But I'm saying to you, I'm saying to both of you, the West Indies win over Afghanistan at the World Cup after the campaign the Windies have had is of statistical insignificance. It should be of historical insignificance because it meant nothing.